Hi, I'm John.
And I'm Mackenzie. Welcome to the Honor and Craft podcast.
We look at how trades show up online and share quick, practical ideas to help you stand out and grow. All right, so Mac, what do we want to talk about today?
Today we're going to look at Von Hansen's Meats, which is an old-fashioned Midwest butcher shop with a pretty loyal following.
Okay, so in Phoenix, we have a thing called Home Concepts, and it's just a book filled with ads that is delivered to homeowners, and they can just bop through it and find something that's of interest to them. And inside of here, we found Von Hansen's Meats. We found them in here, and just like you can see, it's just a ton of ads. And how do you stand out in such a crowded marketplace of ads?
So here is the original ad that we see in the magazine. First glance,
There's a lot going on. Go ahead.
It feels pretty distracting. A lot of elements going on here. I would say if you choose one thing to focus on, my eye goes to the loyalty program for money savings, just because that's the thing on there with the call out color. But to me, that doesn't feel like the call to action.
I find it surprising that you're able to pick one thing. My eye tends to go into the white space because it gives me a little bit of a rest. So I go over there, and then I get sucked into this, like, I can't remember how to pronounce. I think I've had this beer before, this summer shandy. So this, I don't know why that's in the picture at all. So I would cut that out. The meats are really hard to tell what that is, and they're grainy in the photo because we've blown it up for you. When you really look at it on the ad, it's tiny. Then you've got all these, they've won awards, obviously, here in Phoenix, and we have a thing called the Best of the Valley, and they've won that, looks like, several times, and maybe some others.
Mm-hmm.
I can hardly tell what those are. So are they getting the impact? I mean, do you think they're getting the impact that they're expecting to get out of that? Because that could be done better, I think.
I agree. I think there's also a call out for their 21st anniversary gift certificates available. There's a certified Angus beef logo up in the right corner, and then this whole football season section. So it's just a ton going on. And I feel like this is a case of not thinking about what the customer cares about, but more so them trying to fit in every single thing that they're proud of into a super small space.
Yeah. You also get I often talk about things being camouflaged, and because they've used, red is obviously their color for their logo. They've used it for pretty much everything, and red's a hot color. So because they've used it for everything, it really dilutes it. It means nothing gets attention because everything's red. And so I think you can pull back on that quite a bit and just focus on their logo and then maybe one other spot. I really like the contrast. We preach about having a contrasting color that's used exclusively for like a call to action. And I think that's something that can be done here. What do you think about the naming of certified Angus beef, best jerky in town, oven ready entrees, over 150 types of sausage and brats, tomahawk steaks, fresh seafood, wild game, listing all of that?
Yeah, I think it's just too much. I feel like knowing it's a meat shop and that's what they do, you can expect that they're going to have what's listed below. And I think people are going to be interested in a meat shop or they're not. And so I feel like this should just be more focused on getting them to the page where you can get them to buy your product. I also want to call out, sorry to jump around, but on the bottom right-hand corner, they have a Facebook and an Instagram logo, but this is a print ad, so you can't click on it and it doesn't tell you what the handles are. So those are, there's zero reason to have those there.
Yeah. You got those balloons floating, but the way it was done, the balloons have a string that's floating behind the celebrating their 21st year anniversary. So it almost became disjointed. It took me a while to realize those balloons are supposed to be kind of coming from the celebration. which would maybe help draw you to that. I think it's an important point that they've been around for 21 years. You know, and give you comfort. Did you happen to go to the website and see, because that's really the only action you can take from this ad would be to pick up the phone and call them or go to the website. What did you find when you went there?
Let me pull up their website.
Let's pull it up.
Okay. So the very first thing that I notice on their website is that the first thing listed in their navigation is pet food, which drives me a little crazy. I feel like to go from an ad where they're marketing towards humans, and then immediately flip it on you and it becomes about pet food, it's a little bit confusing of a message.
Like it's a completely different person that you're trying to market to. It's almost like if you're going to do all natural pet food, they almost should consider having a separate website just for pet food to talk to people that are owners. There's a lot of competition in that space. You need every bit of your website to focus on that if you're truly going to win there. This feels like kind of an afterthought because they probably have byproducts in their process that they can say, let's make great pet food with. But using alphabetical order for your navigation bar is not necessarily the approach I would take. It's just, first of all, that's just too much. What do I even hit? I would just ignore it. And it looks like I've landed on almost a blog post.
Well, I think that's because I've been already clicking around in here before we got here.
All right.
Here's what their homepage would look like.
I know we're getting a little bit beyond looking at the ad, but I just wanted to see okay. So, when I get here, at least that feels like a classic butcher shop and makes me want to maybe go if you're into that kind of thing, because it's classic. I mean, that's old, like they say, old fashioned. And it might be fun if you're into meats to visit there. Look at this. So now I can see, and this makes a big impact for me when I get to the website. So I think that's pretty well done. I mean, it's a lot. It's large. Organized better, but it's good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so anything you got out of their website that you thought?
I think my biggest thing is just as far as navigation goes, I think this could be pared down to offerings about us and place an order. And every single thing in that navigation with 1, 2, 3, 9, like 12 items could be 3 in a mega menu where there's maybe drop downs to get more specific. I just feel like it's too much. And
the other thing is this is their homepage, right? So you land on it. If you're not familiar with an old fashioned meat kind of butcher shop, what does that for, if you scroll up a little bit, this should be saying what I'm thinking. Like, do you want to have amazing barbecues that make your family happy or something? That's not it. I'd want to sit down and really compose it. But talk to what's my problem that you're solving for me, and then then you're getting into, well, we have all sorts of solutions for you, and that's when you kind of start to showcase. You've got barbecue stuff, we've got craft beer and wine, we've got deli salads, and all that stuff. So then you're saying, okay, we can do a complete setup for you if you're going to have friends and family over. So you've got that, and then you move into why are they a great guide in this kind of this is your adventure, right? To make a great meal for family. They're a great guide because they've been doing it for 21 years. They're trusted here in the Valley. They've won a bunch of awards, that kind of stuff. Anyway, I just feel like, and maybe then you get into what you get if you go like to your local grocer versus coming to a place like Von Hansen's that's got, what do they do that's so great? What makes their meat so fantastic? Is it the lack of additives, the grass-fed beef? What is it?
Yeah.
So I feel like that maybe should be the story arc for this website. And I'm not sure they've done that. They've got bits and pieces of it not in the right order from my perspective. Okay. So we kind of, there's some good stuff. There's some really good stuff here to work with. Did you have a chance to mock it up and maybe give an alternative that we could look at?
Of course.
Oh, awesome.
Okay. So here is our alternative ad. You can see it's very much pared down from the original. Way less going on here. Your eye immediately goes to the most important piece, which is the call to action. And to simplify this even further, we've turned it into a QR code. So now instead of having to type in a URL, it is a super simple scan to open the link where you can directly place an order.
I mean, it's in print.
Yeah.
So you probably, if you're looking through this, you're probably not at your computer, or you might be, but you may be sitting in your kitchen and it's on the kitchen cabinet, and you're deciding, do I throw this away or not? And then you think, oh yeah, I was going to do something, and then you run across Von Hansen's, and with the QR code, you just have your phone right there, and you go, oh, and I'm in.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised by the lack of QR codes in this print magazine with how common QR codes have become in today's world. So I think it would set you apart also from the other companies that are featured.
If COVID did anything, it taught everybody from every age group what a QR code was. I mean, I've been preaching QR codes for 20 plus years and could not get any traction on it. And then finally COVID comes along and everybody learns what they are. And it's a piece of every marketer's arsenal that should be used today.
Yeah. I want to point out too that to improve this QR code link even further, right now it takes you to the homepage. This could be replaced with a landing page that touches on the pieces from the original ad that didn't make it onto the print version. So if you think that there are more compelling things to continue to answer the customer's questions and move them along the path to get them to say yes to your product, you can continue to do that on a landing page and swap out where this current QR code takes you. The next thing I want to talk about is getting rid of most of the awards that are featured here. That would be a good place to put them on that landing page that I just talked about. And I only kept one of them, the one that I feel like is the most recognizable across the valley, this New Times Best of Phoenix winner. I'm pretty sure everyone I know knows what that is. And so that one award pulls a lot of weight. And because it doesn't have a year on it, it feels evergreen, like it's always relevant. They are the winner. And I think it still gets the point across of providing that social proof and credibility to Von Hansen's.
Talk about the headline you put in, because that was not on the original ad, right?
Yeah. So kind of what you talked about, why would someone choose Von Hansen's over their local grocery store? And to me, it's quality, and they're interested in becoming an amazing cook. They want to be recognized in their family, among their friends, as a chef. And I feel like this headline calls out to that. They're going here, they're purchasing a lot, they're stocking up for the next month, and they're going to be able to cook, really
it's monthly pilgrimage.
Yeah.
Maybe weekly, right? Where they're coming. This is the place you go, and it's kind of an event for you, and you're going to take some time. You're going to go on Saturday or whatever, and you're going to look at all the cuts, and you're going to pick those things. You've already planned out kind of what you're going to be doing this next week, any special events you've got going on. Yeah. So,
and then
I think you did a great job on this. Oh, sorry, you had another?
I just want to say a couple more things. In the original ad, the image is not black and white, so it feels a little bit distracting. This one gets rid of all the noise from that image, but still keeps it because I think it's a strong image. Feels like a family, gives the old classic feel. We also removed the logos off of these boxes. It was a beer logo, so that noise is gone as well. And then really cut down the list of offerings into this white box right here. Because like I said, the landing page that we send them to can discuss all of that. We don't need to tell them it's a meat shop. They know that they're going to find meat there. So you don't need to list every single offering in this small space.
Along those lines, when you run an ad in something like this, you might get something the first time, but it comes with frequency, right? So you have to be in it over the course of a year or something like that. So you don't have to get all of your messages across at once. You could say, for the month of October, we're just going to do premium cuts.
Yeah.
So your QR code could take you to a page that's just about premium cuts and why you're so good. That way, you're not trying to get a whole bunch of messages into their mind, which is just very difficult. If they're coming to that ad because they're like, oh, I'm really into better meat for steaks or whatever, then you take them to a page that goes into massive detail, not massive, enough detail for them to really get, oh, okay, these guys are the experts at that. I want to go visit this store this weekend. And the specials, we could maybe do different things. Like if you're doing premium cuts, you might have a very specific call to action that's around a discount if you pre-order or if you whatever. But there's something special about when you get to a really kind of reduced scope on the ad where you're just aiming at one thing. It's just easier for people to absorb.
Yeah.
Shut up right there, but I think that's the main point, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, real quick before we leave, will you just flip back to the old ad and let's observe it real quick and then maybe come back to this?
Sure.
Okay. So I see what you're talking about. You had a whole bunch of color going on with her shirt, his undershirt, everything's red. You've got the stuff on the boxes. You've got all the logos. You've got the football thing going on. You've got a lot going on. And now let's flip back into what you did. Yeah, to me, that's just so much cleaner, so much easier. And so keep in mind, this is going to live in the context of, let me see if I can find a kind of a representative page here. So it's going to live in a space like this, or maybe even more congested. And being able to have an ad that welcomes the eye, that's not just so busy, is also going to benefit you, because it's not just the ad. And oftentimes we look at the ad by itself. When you look at the ad in the context of the environment it'll be represented in, you need to make sure that your ad draws everybody to it, because it's going to be, I always say an oasis, but kind of an oasis for the eyes, that you land on that. It's not hurting you to be there, instead of just popping them with 1,000 messages so you just want to skip or turn the page. All right, I think you did a great job.
Thanks.
Okay, Mackenzie, to finish this up, I think I just want to say I'm super inspired to go to Von Hansen's and pick up some steaks. I don't know about you, I don't know about you in the audience, but I encourage you to visit.
Make your business look as solid as your work.
You take pride in every job. Your online presence should show it.
We build clean, professional systems that help you get bound, earn trust, and turn great work into repeat business, referrals, and 5-star reviews.
Visit honorandcraft.com to learn more.